Hi there! When I was a child in the 1970s, belief in the existence of a creature known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or Yeti was at an all-time high. Seemingly, most people believed in Bigfoot. That's defined as a creature like a giant ape or ape-like man that walked around on two legs with extra big feet and other body parts. While visiting a small museum, I noticed their completely lifelike Bigfoot replica. The information along with it emphatically portrayed the creature as a real living being, even giving details such as his classification. I can't remember what it said, but it probably said Deinanthropodes magnipus. That's the usual classification that they call the Bigfoot. The display model was around 8 feet or 2.44 meters tall. And with his given bulk, he would have weighed around 800 pounds or 363 kilograms. Very rough estimate, because it was many years ago when I saw that. Today there are small museums dedicated entirely to this creature, such as California's Bigfoot Discovery Museum, Georgia's Expedition Bigfoot Museum, and Oregon's North American Bigfoot Center. And there are several Bigfoot research organizations in various states. One group instead calls the creature the North American wood ape. And there's actually an official Bigfoot crossing sign put out by state officials on the side of Pikes Peak Highway in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Underneath is another sign which reads, "Due to sightings in the area of a creature resembling quote-unquote Bigfoot, this sign has been posted for your safety." But are there fossils of such a creature? Yes. Such remains were first discovered in 1935. From many teeth, some partial jawbones, and a partial humerus, the entire bodies of such animals were extrapolated. Researchers identified him as Gigantopithecus blacki, around 10 feet or 3.05 meters tall, weighing around 1,100 pounds or 500 kilograms. They also concluded that he was vegetarian and primarily lived in subtropical to tropical regions. Also, most fossil evidence was excavated from caves, so he may have used caves for housing. All fossil remnants were found in Southeast Asia. In comparison, the largest living primate, the gorilla, is only up to 5 feet 10 inches or 1.8 meters tall and 500 pounds or 227 kilograms. However, it's impossible to tell whether the Gigantopithecus primarily walked on two legs or all fours due to lack of substantial physical evidence. That is, no leg bones, arm bones, etc. Seeing him as a bipedal Bigfoot creature is perfectly okay since there's no contradictory evidence and such a conclusion is reasonable. Now, what about such fossil evidence within North America? Actually, none exists. That's significant since fossil remains exist of a similar creature who went extinct long ago. So we should expect much more fossil evidence if such creatures roam or have roamed North America in the present or recent past. As for photos and video, none has been verified. In fact, many hoaxes have been exposed, both with fake footprints and men wearing gorilla suits. In fact, in 1977, someone sent their supposed Bigfoot evidence in the form of hair to the FBI for testing. Here's the response letter. Dear Mr. Curtis, the hairs which you recently delivered to the FBI laboratory on behalf of the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition have been examined by transmitted and incident microscopy. Microscopy. The examination included a study of morphological characteristics such as root structure, medullary structure, and cuticle thickness, in addition to scale casts. Also, the hairs were compared directly with hairs of known origin under a comparison microscope. It was concluded as a result of these examinations that the hairs are of deer family origin. The hair sample you submitted is being returned as an enclosure to this letter. Since then until now, there's been a grand total of zero scientific evidence for any such creature being alive anywhere on our planet today. Despite this, Bigfoot enthusiasts defend their belief with explaining that the reason a living Bigfoot hasn't been discovered is that the creatures are so intelligent and intuitive they've been able to see, hear, smell, or even detect humans with a sixth sense before humans can spot them and so hide. But this too fails, since we now have satellites that regularly map and remap every single square meter of the entire Earth's surface. Access to this data comes from websites such as Earth Pilot, Google Earth, Marble, Zoom Earth, and others. Check one out for yourself. This destroys any possibility that a Bigfoot-type creature could be alive today anywhere in Australia, China, Europe, India, North America, or on any deserts, islands, mountains, or plains. Anyone, after having been presented with these facts, yet believes despite them, has allowed their emotions to override their brain. Yet in our 21st century, 16% of adults surveyed affirmed belief in such a Bigfoot. The lesson here should be a warning about people's dishonesty and irrationality. You yourself can fall prey to irrational emotions and temptation to be dishonest. So let's double down to tackle that problem. But like I said, yes, Bigfoot was discovered. That is, in the form of Gigantopithecus blacki. Such a creature may still be alive today in extremely dense parts of South American and African jungles, which canopies cannot be penetrated by satellite cameras and where humans generally refuse to tread. But Bigfoot in the form of a giant North American wood ape or ape man? No. Finally, let us focus on loving God's green earth and all his creatures, working to counteract endangerment, the animals that are still alive that are endangered. Let's focus on that. The shrinking habitats and other ills. That could involve hands-on work or donating money to environmental causes. And without extra money to spend, you can still sign petitions on behalf of worthy animal and nature rights. See change.org.